Good day everyone! Alam niyo ba yung larong Monopoly Go? Syempre, alam niyo yan. Kayo pa ba? Pagdating sa mga gantong laro, G na G tayo sa mga ganyan. Ngayon, napag-isipan niyo na ba kung ano ang Monopoly? Nako, kung hindi pa alam, narito na't makinig dahil ito ang aming magiging topic for today's videos. Anyway, I am delighted to be here today to discuss pure Monopoly, and I am the Stephanie Dolar, and I am the one that will be discussing today together with my members here in Andaya, Johnson, Esparagal, Famatiga, Fiolog, Flora, Labandelo, Lamila, Mendez, Prado, Reyes, and lastly, Tinaco. Over the next few minutes, I'll be diving into brief overview of our topics, and I am excited to share insights and engage in meaningful discussion with all of you. Let's jump right in. Ngayon, nandito tayo sa market structure. Market structure in economics refers to how different industries are classified and differentiated based on their degree and nature of competitions for goods and services. May mga iba't ibang struktura ng merkado mula sa perfectong competitions kung saan maraming maliliit na kumpanya ang naglalaban-laban para sa homogeneous ng mga produkto hanggang sa maging monopoly. So, kung isa lamang ang naghahari sa merkado na nagbibigay ng malaking kontrol ng mga presyo at antas ng produksyon. And then through this analyzing market structures in economics can gain a valuable insight into pricing strategies and then efficient levels and the overall functions of markets, facilitating informed policy making and strategy decision making for the business. Kung sa una ay ipinaliwanag natin ang market structure, ngayon naman we have the types of market structure. Ito yung perfect competition, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly, and then lastly the monopoly, which is our topic for today. So next, reporter, ano ba itong monopoly na ito?
Monopoly market. This means that a single seller sells or produces a unique product and controls the market. The seller dominates the market by offering a unique product, setting its own prices, and creating high barriers that prevent other businesses from participating. So, there is no competition and no product substitution. For example, public utilities such as transportation, water, electricity, gas, and local telephone services companies. There are 4 types of monopolies. The first one is monopolistic competition, the second, the pure monopoly, and third, public monopolies, plus the natural monopoly.
So, what is pure monopoly? Pure monopoly is a market structure where a single company is the sole producer and seller of a product with no close substitutes. This dominance allows the company to control market conditions, including pricing. Pure monopolies are rare and require significant barriers to entry in order to prevent competitions. In such a market, the company effectively becomes the entire industry, maximizing profits by setting optimal prices and production quantities.
Now, let us differentiate pure monopoly and monopolistic competition. When we say monopolistic competition, it involves many sellers offering differentiated products, limited price control, moderate barriers to entry, and some degree of market power. But when we say pure monopoly, it only involves a single seller with full control over pricing, no competition, tough entry and exit barriers, and no close substitutes available. So both market structures have their unique characteristics, with monopolistic competition allowing for more competition, while pure monopoly leads to a lack of market alternatives. To better understand the difference or distinction between pure monopoly and monopolistic competition, let us give some examples. Microsoft Corporation's Windows operating system is a classic example of a pure monopoly. As of February 2024, Microsoft Windows was the dominant desktop operating system worldwide with a market share of around 72%. Microsoft controlled over this market, highlighting the characteristics of a pure monopoly with high barriers to entry and no significant competitors in the same space. On the other hand, the fast food industry is a prime example of monopolistic competition. Companies like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and Jollibee that offer similar products like burgers, fries, and etc., but differentiate themselves through branding, taste, and marketing. Each fast food chain has its own unique selling points, but they all compete in the broader market for fast food, demonstrating the characteristics of monopolistic competition.
Barriers to entry in pure monopoly. We have here 6 barriers. First, predatory pricing. A commercial pricing strategy which involves the use of large-scale undercutting to eliminate competition. Big companies intentionally lower prices to ridiculously low levels, aiming to drive away or discourage potential competitors. Second, limit pricing. Limit prices, also known as pricing strategies, are set by suppliers at a level that prevents other companies from entering the market at a profit. Existing companies set their prices so low that it scares off any potential competition from entering the market. Third, excess capacity. A condition that occurs when demand for a product is less than the amount of product that the business could potentially supply to the market. Established companies intentionally produce way more than what the market demands in order to flood it and discourage new players from joining. Fourth, brand loyalty. Creating strong brand loyalty makes it super tough for new competitors to attract customers. Fifth, economies of scale. Refers to the cost advantage experienced by a firm when it increases its levels of output. Big companies enjoy the benefits of producing on a large scale, which helps them cut down on costs. This becomes a major hurdle for new entrants who can match their production volumes. And lastly, regulatory barriers. It contains guidelines or even common practices which could be changed by executive action or by a committee decision. Well-established companies have a knack for influencing regulation to create barriers that are extremely difficult for newbies to comply with. They might push for really strict industry standards and licensing requirements through lobbying efforts.
Since there's only one seller in a pure monopoly, it sets all the rules, terms, and prices. The monopolist sets prices higher than what would be considered fair in a competitive market in order to make as much profit as possible. They take advantage of their strong control over the market to do this. Unfortunately, this often leads to higher prices for consumers and less benefit for them. The monopolist also controls how much of the product is available, and individual buyers have very little influence on the overall demand. As a result, consumers have no choice but to accept the prices set by the monopolist.
One of the key characteristics of pure monopoly is the offering of unique product or services that lack close substitutes. This product is distinguished by exclusive features and characteristics that differentiate it from many other options in the market. Consumers are left with no choice but to buy from the monopoly if they seek that particular product.
A pure monopoly is a situation where a single firm dominates a market for a particular product. It is where the production or sale of a particular product is controlled by only one company. Examples of pure monopolies include public utilities, electric, water, and local telephone service companies. Another is government services such as postal service, defense, and public transportation. De Beers for diamonds, copyright products, and patent products.
Economies of scale are cost advantages gained when a company increases production, leading to lower average cost per unit due to the spreading of fixed costs and improved efficiencies. What is the relation of economies of scale in monopoly market? In a monopoly market, economies of scale lower average costs as production increases, strengthening the monopolist's dominance and creating high barriers to entry for competitors. This allows the monopolist to control price and supply.
A monopoly market structure has both advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages is that monopolies can generate extra profit, which can be reinvested in costly capital projects such as telecommunications, aviation, and pharmaceuticals because they facilitate research, innovation, and cost reduction. It can also determine monopoly success, where it shows signs of efficiency and dynamism. Additionally, it increases international competitiveness by first maintaining a strong stand of domestic monopoly. An example for this is Google, which has attained monopoly status by being the leading search engine provider. And last but not the least, we also have loss subsidization, where monopolies can utilize their excess profits to subsidize essential yet unprofitable services.
The disadvantages in pure monopolies. First one is allocative inefficiency. Consumers pay higher prices, making goods less affordable. This leads to allocative inefficiency because the price is greater than the production cost. Second one is monopolies as sole providers can set any price by increasing rates without justification since they know that consumers have no alternatives. Third one is monopolies have fewer incentives to be efficient and lacks the incentive to control costs. This causes the average cost of production to be higher than necessary, therefore encouraging inefficiency. Fourth is without competition, monopolies can raise prices, reduce product quality, limit consumer choices, and stifle innovation, leading to fewer improvements in products and services.
Now, I'll discuss the supply and demand curve. A monopoly doesn't have the supply curve because it sets the supply according to the demand, and the market price is not set by the intersection of the demand and supply curve. On the other hand, the demand curve was downward sloping na makikita nyo sa graph. It implies that the price a monopolist can expect to receive for its output will not remain constant as the monopolist increases its output. It means if they want to increase their output, it must reduce its price to ensure the demand from the customers. How marginal revenue related to elasticity of demand. In a monopoly, the demand will always be elastic. This means the firm will never produce a huge quantity to sell at a low price. Instead, they would increase their price and sell less quantities to increase their profit. If demand is elastic, then 1% price cuts increases the quantity sold by more than 1%. This causes marginal revenue is positive and revenue will increase. If demand is inelastic, then 1% price cuts increases the quantity sold by less than 1%. This causes marginal revenue is negative and revenue will decrease. Last, if demand is unit elastic, then 1% price cuts increase the quantity sold by 1%. Does not change the revenue.
In a monopoly, it chooses its output in a way that maximizes profits. The price at which the monopolistic business can sell that many units is determined by reading off the demand curve after it has determined the quantity of output units that will maximize profit. As the sole provider in the industry, a monopoly is confronted with a demand curve that slopes downward. A monopolistic can choose manufacture in any amount, but the only way to sell more of it is to lower the price. The average total cost and marginal revenue must always be lower than the demand curve in order to guarantee profit. An average total cost that is greater than the demand curve represents a profit loss. Now, to sum up everything, a pure monopoly market structure is when there is only a single seller of a certain product or service in the entirety of the market, with no substitute, having high barriers to entry, and with complete control over the pricing. and the demand is not easily affected by the change in price. And that is all about our group's discussion about pure monopoly. Thank you everyone and have a great day.